entrepreneurs that I know that are successful, they reflect back on their year, how it went, how did they reach their goals, and so, we're just going to talk a little bit about that today. So for me, I go back and I look on my year, and they always say whatever gets measured gets done. So if you're not measuring your activity on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, then it's very difficult to know that you're moving, making progress in your areas. So for me, like I said, I look back and say, was it productive? Did I accomplish the things I set out to accomplish? If not, what happened? And like I said, if you're not measuring your activities, then how do you know you're moving forward or not? How much activity did you work towards your long-term plan? And I'm going to show you guys. I think it's here. So back in 2016, when I first started doing this stuff, these were some of my goals. I actually looked at them, and I want to do 50 videos, 100 podcasts, 50,000 views, 5,000 person email list, and create a free course. And so that was some of my goals. I exceeded the 50 videos. I never did a podcast. I've done well over the 50,000 views. I didn't get to the 5,000 person email list, but I did create my free course. But some of the other things that happened as a result that were not part of my initial goals were, like I said, um, I have I've got national organizations talking to me. I've developed relationships with companies that are going to take me into contract arenas that I've not been familiar with, or areas that I'm not necessarily on my plan. So by just writing down the goals and having them at the top of your mind and going through that exercise, you're going to hit some of those goals. You may not hit others, but there's some things that are going to happen that you may not be able to see, that may take you in some directions that are even beyond what you thought you'd be at, or where you'd be or go. So that's just me sharing my experiences. One of the things that I have is I have what's called a 12-month vision statement, and I write down what's important to me, what are the core values that you make, that do the things that you do that are often not easy, right? So what are some of those core values that make you, push through some of those hard tasks to do? What are your 5 big goals for the year? I share it with you, mine. What are the 5 most compelling reasons to hit these goals and elevate your life? And then key behaviors I must develop. I'll share with you here. I got this. I don't remember where I got this from, but I basically, where those dashes are, I plugged it in, and it says, for me, when I talked about what are some of the key behaviors I must develop and what I have to sacrifice. So I said, okay, I'm willing to give up nights and weekends, all vacation plans, every Saturday and Sunday, in return for the money that I desire. My plan of action was to look at, and again, I was looking at real estate. So I was looking at 3 to 5 deals a week, make an offer on one a week, buy one a month, finalize my book, um, and then base the success of the launch on my training course, blog, podcast, on government contracts. So I think I did pretty well. Like I said, if we look at making an offer one a week and buying one property a month, that would be 12 properties. And I'm right close to that number already. I did launch my book. I did launch a training course for you guys. I did not launch a podcast, but I did launch the blog and the YouTube channel, which was just the same thing. So again, that's me. That's my experiences. And, the same thing can happen for you guys. So let's talk about goal setting. And if you don't have any goals, great place to start. I have, in addition to my 12-month vision statement, and again, I'm a voracious reader. I pulled this information from different places, different books. I don't even know who to give the credit for these things. But I have a list for me of 100 life goals, and it's just boom, 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 boom. I wrote out 100 life goals. Um, and also, I have on here what's called a 21 goal category. So we'll talk about that. So for my 100 life goals, it's a wide range of things. Everything that I want to do, from like visiting India, visiting China, to like going to the ESPYS, something like those award shows and things like that. So that's just a wide range of goals, just to kind of like start checking off the boxes. Like for example, I had on there, visiting Cuba. That was one of my goals, and I've been to Cuba 4 times. But at the time when I wrote it, it wasn't possible to go to Cuba. So, um, and then my 21 goal category, basically what I do is I wrote down 3 goals per section. So, and these are the areas that I focused on. What we talked about was relationship, business and career, some fun goals, health and fitness goals, personal goals, contribution and legacy, and then financial goals. And I'll share with you on that. So under my contribution and legacy, I wrote down, and again, this is back in 2016. Help 100,000 of small business achieve dramatic growth results, impact the lives of millions of people so they can pay it forward and help the next generation like Boy Scouts, and then ensure financial freedom for the next 5 generations. And so those were some of my contribution legacy goals under my three in there. Here's a chart that I want to share with you guys, and this is something that you can use. I put it up there. This one I made based on a Jim Rohn video. You know, as you know, I love Jim Rohn. And like I said, on the left hand side, you got economic things, personal development, and at the top on the columns, you have long range and short term range. So hold on one second, guys. Let me see. Let me see what's going on in the chat room. I'll leave this up so you guys can look over it real quick. All right. What's your book list? We be answering email questions. I went through the course. I didn't need a CS, but I've never done any type of business ad. Okay. Tracy, they for some reason they blocked out your. There you go, Tracy. I put you in there. They hid your comment, so I put it back. All right. All right. So you got yeah. This is an example of a chart that I've used, and then here reasons to succeed. And one of the things they always says is, okay, you can have goals, you can write down your goals, you can write down your vision statement, all that stuff, but without having enough reasons, you can have plenty of intelligence, talent, and good work ethic, but if you don't have enough reasons, then you won't do the activity. So you need to figure out what are the reasons why you want to succeed and write those down. Again, they're like a magnet that pulls you closer towards your goals. So you have the goals and you know where you're going, but then what are the reasons behind some of those goals? Write down the reasons that you want to succeed at your goals. All right. Now, some examples of reasons to succeed would be, for example, let's say you're tired of people worrying about you financially. Maybe you're tired of people saying how talented you are, but you're still not making the money you want to make. Maybe you want to give away millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars to charity, to your church, to organizations. Whatever the reasons are for you, write those reasons down because that's what's going to push you through when it's tough, when it's hard, when it's cold, when it's raining. I mean, when I was in Kansas and I was working out there and I was on this building and it was icy on the ground, then it was raining, and then the ground would when it heated up enough, then it would become mud, and then when it froze up, then it become ice, and so it was all that stuff on there. But I knew, that ultimately long term what my plan was and what my reason was to succeed. And a lot of times that's based on our family. Family is an excellent reason to want to work hard at pulling you towards those goals. And for me, I knew I wanted to help my son. I wanted to help my niece. I have a goal to pay off my parents' house. And so those kind of things is what pulled me through those tough times when people were yelling at me, screaming at me, when people treated me poorly, or I didn't feel like I was being treated fairly. Those are the things that pulled me through. So make sure, above all, that yeah, you're writing down the goals, you're doing you're writing down your vision statement, but write down reasons to succeed. Start there. Put that down on paper and then look at it from time to time and say, this is why I'm doing this. This is why, even though I'm terrified, I'm going to make this phone call. This is why, even though the last guy told me no, I'm going to try it again. This is why, because, you know, yeah, you may be comfortable living in an efficiency. You may be comfortable living in a one-bedroom apartment, but for your kids, you may want to put them in private school. You may want, you may want to send them to Harvard or Stanford, or you may want to send them to, some elite school now that you can't afford. And so when you're out there and you're debating of, should I call that person? What to say? I don't know what to say. Eric didn't give me all the answers. Let me just wing it. That your daughter's her being on your mind is what's going to pull you through, and that's for me what's always pulled me through and what's made me take one extra step, commit one additional action, push forward and doing the additional effort that I needed to get past that. If it's not enough to work for yourself, do it for somebody else. Do it for your sick relative. Do it for a relative who facing some sort of tragic incident. Do it for somebody else. But again, make sure You write down your reasons to succeed. Hold on. And I saw this and I thought it was great. It says, it is critical that you make a lot of money because without it, you are limited to what you can do only by your physical presence. And so now, if you think about that, essentially, um, if you really or truly believe that um, you want to make an impact, and we discussed that last week, savoring life versus making an impact. If you really believe that you want to make an impact, you know that the only way to do it is by leveraging your time and your abilities and your resources. And the only way to do that is by making a lot of money. All right. So that's today's lesson. Remember, like we talked about last week, pain plus reflection equals progress. There's no avoiding pain, especially if you're going after ambitious goals. The challenges you face will strengthen you. If you're not failing, you're not pushing your limits. If you're not pushing your limits, you're not maximizing your potential. All right, so I'm going to turn it over and see what we've got in the room. Um, let's see what we got here. Learn and discipline. Your disappointment is the biggest lesson learned from Jim Rohn. Yeah. So I see we've got some more Jim Rohn fans in here. Tracy Bird, nothing beats failure but a try. Absolutely. Kiana, without dreams, people perish. That's correct. He says that. Reasons make the difference. That's right. All right. What else? All right, guys. Anybody else? Like I said, I'm not going anywhere. I saw someone in there that said to consider leaving my GovCon Giants course up there. Unfortunately, like everything, we have to evolve. And I have to expand upon it. I have to make it better. I have to improve. So it was a beta version. Um, I'm gonna leave the GovCon Giants. I'm gonna leave the private Facebook and group in place intact. So hopefully, I know the people that are participating in this chat are the same people that are participating in the actual GovCon Giants group. They're the same. They're one and the same. So thank you guys as always. But yeah, I'm gonna leave the group in place. Hopefully, the group will be able to help, and I'm gonna still be active in the group. But the course, I've made a decision to pull it down because I do want to work and improve upon that course. And in order to do so, I've got to. What you probably don't see is that with the course, people are asking me questions. So every time people ask me questions, that disrupts my train of thought, my focus from working on some big picture item. So in order for me to avoid that from happening, I have to pull the course down naturally. I can't tell people to stop asking me questions. I have to pull it down. So if you think about it this way, I'm going to be able to spend more time with the serious people who are this close to getting a contract. I'm going to spend more time with the people who are willing to commit the additional effort out there, right? I could spend more time with you guys to actually help you, cross that bridge. So think about that way. Before I thought I was be serving less people by actually, committing myself to those. But what I realized, and again, that's part of me and my learning and my growth, is that I believe truly that if I can help some of you out there, the ones that are showing me that you're serious, the ones that are showing me committed, the ones that say, look, Eric, we're all in on this, and you've made a commitment. If I can and take you guys over the hump, then I believe that you can also not only be my advocates, but you'll also be able to, like what we have in a Facebook group, help other people by referring information, stories, sharing your experiences with them. And so I would love to have, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 people out there who've already done this. They've got the contracts, we've gone through the steps, and they see what it's like, and they've had that experience. So then when someone asks a question, you're like, no, 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 no. That doesn't work like that. Someone asked a question today in the group that asked me, that said, hey, look, they received a phone call from some company saying that you have to pay for their SAM registration. It was. So they said, oh, your SAM registration is not complete. You need to pay a fee. And immediately the members in the group stepped up and said, that's a fraud. That's a scam. And so if I help more of you guys get to that point, then you could then help, disseminate the information to the group, and we can far serve more people that way than I could ever do on my own. So that's the whole idea behind it is, It's like when you cut a tree back. You cut it back so it can grow even bigger, even larger. So all we're doing is we're just cutting back some a little bit. We're trimming back the tree so that we can blossom even more and be even a greater force reckoning with come 2018. And that's the idea. All right. So you guys already know who you are. You know the people out there. You know who are the committed ones. You know who are the serious ones. You know if you've been reaching out to me. You know if you've been asking questions. Um, and what I don't think what people understand is I've turned down some really exciting, lucrative opportunities um, that are in the millions of dollar range to be able to sit back and be able to do this stuff for you guys. And I think that you would much rather have those examples and those stories than have me come on here and talk to you, a little bit more about a lesson that you may have already heard, or maybe sharing some of the same information about capability statements and some of the things that we've already kind of discussed. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just scratched the surface of it, but you have the actual understanding, or you have a fundamental understanding. Maybe you don't know the whole thing completely, and I haven't gone through a one-on-one lesson, but you know it's one of those activities that you should be doing. So I think that it would be much better if I came back and said, and I had, let's see, who's in the chat? Who am I going to pick out as an example? Let's say I had Shawnee, and Shawnee comes on, and Shawnee says, hey, guess what, guys? I worked with Eric. We landed a contract. It was $250,000. We split up 100 grand. I mean, I can't. That to me would be a much better story to paint coming in, welcoming in 2018 year, the first quarter. All right. So, does anybody else have any questions? It's 7:02. No. All right. With that, by the way, I think does anyone ask about the book? Oh, do me a favor. Do me a huge favor, please. Listen, if you have purchased the book, I thank you for purchasing the book. If you have not purchased the book, please purchase the book because it's already going. People are asking me some of the same questions that are already in the book. I'm not going to. Uh, what I'm asking for is if you've already purchased it, please go on Amazon and leave me some reviews. I really do need reviews from there. I think I only have 6 reviews, and I'm close to like 100 book purchases, so it doesn't really add up. Less than 10% of people have actually gave reviews. So make sure you guys go on there if you bought the book and you like it. If you don't like it, I understand. But if you do like the book, please go in there and give me a review. Please, that will help me give back. That would be your way of giving back to me as well. I haven't asked a lot from people out there. I've just been giving of myself, my time, faithfully. I've been committed to doing this for you guys. So the least that you guys could do to help me is to go on Amazon and, well, you could buy the book if you have not bought the book. If you have bought the book, please go on Amazon and give me a review. Again, it's a $12 book. If you buy it on Kindle, I think it's $9.95. The Kindle version is actually better because the Kindle version, you can actually click the link and it'll take you to the actual sites. But I do understand some people want a physical book, which I'm okay with that. In fact, I think if you buy the physical book for 11.95, you can get the Kindle version for $2 or 2.99. Amazon has something like that, a program. So if you buy the physical book for 11.95, I think Amazon will sell you the digital one for like $2 or 2.99. Uh, but please, like I said, go out there and give me a 5-star review because you know everyone does not know me, and I still have a way to go. Hey Marie, welcome. I'm glad you joined us, but we're leaving now. Marie Mack is one of the people I was talking about who's committed, who's serious. She has her act together, and I know she's one of the people that I can help serve. She's a great example of someone who I know where she's at in her business and her situation. And so Freddie, he just came on. He's one of those people that I was talking about. Shani's out there, Natasha's out there. Paige, all you guys already know who you are. So again, yeah. So if you have not purchased the book, please purchase the book. If you have not given me a 5-star review, please go in there and give me a 5-star review. Like I said, it's just paying it for it, guys. I mean, I've spent a year committed to helping you with these videos. People have learned a lot. People have gotten contracts. People have become certified for free. You've saved hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. So, reciprocate. Show me some love. Pay it back. Again, it's not a lot of money, but it's part of the big picture. All right, it's a circle of life. So With that, have a happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you guys, and I'll see you soon.